the yes, I am the savage. I got 'em mad after the bag.
Hey, what's up everyone? This is Dante's Analysis, and welcome back to my channel. So, have you ever thought about the possible collaborations that NF could do in the future? Have you always wondered that NF collabing with this artist and this popular artist in the mainstream, or this underground rapper or artist? Well, for today's video, I'm actually going to be doing a collab video with my good YouTube buddy named Kman Reviews. And for this video, we're actually going to each give our top 5 artists that we think NF might collaborate in the future. So I'm going to give my top 5, he's going to give his top 5. And yeah, I'm very excited to do this video again with Kman Reviews because the first time I did with them, it was very fun and I enjoyed it very much. So I want Kman Reviews to take it away and introduce his channel.
Yo everybody, what's going on? This is Keegan from Kman Reviews. I specialize in music reviews, and I'm very happy to be working again with Dante's Analysis. We actually collaborated back on my channel in November reviewing various projects, but I've been extremely excited to get to this new collab as it's a bit of a detour from my regular content. And of course, I want to give a massive thank you to Dante for the invitation to be a part of this video. This means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I am a rather big fan of NF as well, so this video was right up my alley. But anyway, I know what you guys are here for. Let's get right into the lists.
And thank you, Keegan, for introducing your channel. And the way how this video is going to be structured is that we're going to be doing it from 5 to 1. So we're going to start from our lowest list and work our way up to number 1, our top pick. And also I want to have a disclaimer. Please do not get angry in the comment section down below and say like, oh, why did you pick this artist? I would have liked NF to work with this artist. This is just our opinions and our artists that we think NF has a good chance of collaborating with in the future due to similar styles and also possible relationships with these artists. So, and also rap circles within the industry. So please, this is just our opinions, and if you have any artists that you think NF might collaborate in the future, please drop it down in the comment section. We would love to have a dialogue with you guys about which artists you think NF will collaborate with in the future. So for my number 5 pick, I picked Snow the Product. I'm pretty sure most of people know that Snow the Product is a Mexican American rapper born in LA, California, and she's been collaborating with a whole lot of people within the industry. She collaborated with Dax, Mercules, Tech 9, and a lot of other artists. She was previously signed to Atlantic Records, but she left them because because Atlantic wanted her to do more of the mainstream stuff, kind of like sexualizing stuff, and she didn't want to do it, so she ended up going fully independent. She's fully independent now, making a whole lot of money, releasing content, doing different like podcasts, and she's doing her thing, man. And with her and NF, I could really see them hopping on a very upbeat track and just going bar for bar with each other, and like NF spitting his verse, Snow the Product spitting her verse, and I just could feel like a friendly competition with both of them because both of them are spitters, and I would like to see them hear them on track to track, and I feel like it will be very dope. I feel like that's one collaboration that a good chunk of people will like to see NF and Snow the Product hopping on a song together.
At my number 5 spot, I've got Crypt. This was definitely an obvious choice for me to make, so that's why it's a little bit lower on the list. But I mean, come on, these two could be heat on the mic together. And we know Crypt could be a perfect match for NF because, come on, the dude has spent an obscene amount of time reacting to a bunch of his songs on his YouTube channel, especially from the later days, having an entire playlist dedicated to his reactions for NF's Clouds mixtape. But of course, not to mention the Search and Perception reaction as well. Hell, he's also also put all of his projects onto a tier list, has been visibly shown wearing NF merch, notably the cap, and has even sat down to dissect NF's music and wrote a song in a very similar vein to NF's. So right there, Crypt is clearly very familiar with NF's style, his catalog, his ability, and has shown on that song that he can also match that ability. We also see plenty of NF inspiration on his latest album as of recording this, Buried Alive, which despite meeting widespread derision, I still enjoyed it a decent amount. Let me provide a few examples here. The song I Don't Wanna presents a fiery, outlashing scenario assisted by intense, encapsulating synths, rattling hi-hat, and deep bass, something that could have been perfect for NF's more rager songs. The song is also one of the few on that album without cursing and is also strictly one verse, which NF has also been shown to excel in on songs like Returns or Why. The biggest example I can give though is the song Bad Friend, basically being that album's version of Story off the Clouds tape, and arguably I'd say Bad Friend is a stronger version with certainly a tougher emotional edge, but it only goes to show how well these two could write a gripping, suspenseful, or even a depressing song, maybe both of them going back and forth on the mic and sharing detailed experiences. I think it could be one of the most captivating listens I'd ever hear.
For my fourth pick, I picked Joyner Lucas. Joyner Lucas, he's also another rapper that's also very rapidy rap, and he's done collaborations with Logic, he's done collaborated with Eminem, and he's also collaborated with a whole lot of mainstream artists too, because I know Joyner Lucas started from the underground scene and he built his career from the bottom all the way up to the top. And I remember on an Instagram live that he did probably like a few years ago that people in the comment section of his live were saying NF, 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 and he was asking people in the comment section if would you like for me to do a collab with NF, and he said he's down. He said absolutely he will do a collab with NF because he thinks NF is dope.
I'm seeing a lot of NF, and NF is so dope. Are you guys saying NF because I remind you of NF, or I don't understand why there's so many people saying NF right now. It reminds you of NF, or like, what is it? You want me to do a record with him? Like, I don't understand why people are saying NF. Oh, collab with NF. Oh, for sure. I mean, it could happen. I like NF. I think he's dope.
Again, another track, you have NF and Joyner Lucas on a track together. Also, I could see them both on an upbeat type of song, but I could also see them on like a more like mellow and dark beat, talking about their personal issues, like NF spitting his bars about his personal issues, Joyner Lucas spitting bars about his personal issues and how they battled their demons. And also I feel like the concept of the song that both of them could create is endless, and I feel like that's going to be very dope to hear.
Number 4, I gotta give it to Bobby Tarantino, or Logic. Let's be real, the only reason why Logic and NF would be amazing together is because of the sheer magnitude of a banger they would put out. Logic's lyrical ability and storytelling is the complete opposite of NF. I mean, hell, he literally said on Don't Be Afraid to Be Different that he doesn't give a damn about lyrics, so that's completely out of the picture. But come on, the energy these two would bring would be amazing. Like, just imagine NF rapping over something like Contra from Bobby Tarantino 2, Bounce from Under Pressure, or the potential rapid-fire machine gun bullet flows each artist could deliver over something like Mama/So Love from Confessions. But then you flip the coin, and I could totally see Logic rapping over 3 AM from Perception, maybe even kicking some of his more melodic style on Oh Lord, but also just firing from all cylinders on No Excuses from The Search. Which I actually think he could stick to that lyrical topic well, of just doing everything you possibly can to stay on your work ethic. At the end of the day, I'm all in favor of these two working together, and we know these two have had a connection for a while, since NF actually opened for Logic's tour back in 2018, and NF actually expressed that he knew Logic 4 years before that tour. That's 8 years of camaraderie between these two, so at the end of the day, I'm just hoping something eventually comes out of the studio between these two. I think it could be a real smash.
Now, the third artist that I would like to see NF to collaborate with is Shawn Mendes. I'm pretty sure most people have heard about Shawn Mendes. Shawn Mendes is a very popular pop artist. He plays multiple instruments. He's done collaborations with Camila Cabello. He's also really one of the few artists that don't really collaborate with a whole lot of people. He'll collaborate with artists here and there, but for most of his albums, it's mostly him. And I feel like that's something him and NF kind of relate more to, because they're both type of artists that they don't really collaborate with a whole lot of people. And also, I remember an interview that Shawn Mendes did for Jingle Ball and Wango Tango, and he's complimented NF.
I don't know if NF has any tattoos, but if he doesn't, I'd probably get one with him.
Shawn Mendes said that his album, I'm pretty sure it was the Perception album, that Shawn Mendes listened to it and he said it's incredible. Oh man, I feel like Shawn Mendes and NF work very well, because especially that song that Shawn Mendes and Justin Bieber did called Monster, that hollow mellow beat that you hear. Every time I hear that song, I could just imagine NF's rap perfectly fit on that beat. And it's crazy because every time I listen to that song, I just imagine NF spitting his verse on there, and it's like, oh my goodness. I just feel like that's kind of a similar direction that NF and Shawn Mendes can go, like that type of beat, that type of mellow beat with Shawn Mendes' vocals and NF's rapping, and also he could sing too. So both of them could definitely add a lot of things to the table, and I'm pretty sure this is one of the collaborations I could see happening in the future. And yeah, man. And also Shawn Mendes also added NF on Twitter years ago to congratulate NF on the album and said that he liked it. And yeah.
At my number 3 spot, I've got Steve Aoki. Yeah, here's a little bit of a curveball for you. For the longest time, I've always thought NF could do really well over some punchy, fiery electronic beat, and after taking the time over the past few years to familiarize myself with more and more electronic music and producers, there's been no clearer candidate for that potential collaboration than Steve Aoki. And there were especially a few gleaming options in his most recent album as of recording this video, Neon Future 4. Look no further than the opener Closer to God, the blinking synth melody setting a perfectly tense introduction alongside a deep, blaring horn matching a similar orchestral magnitude NF features heavily in his music. Then the techno melody and especially the drop comes blaring in, with the steady bass thumps just waiting for someone to rap over. So much potential here. Another example would be the track Homo Deus, the heavy piano work and plunky synths having that kind of brooding undertone. These synths serve as an amazingly gripping melody, and another bass stuffed drop that could be perfect for an energetic hook. But I think it's the remix of BTS's Mic Drop that really pushed this agenda that Steve could be the perfect producer for NF, an unequivocal banger, and if BTS can flow smoothly over it, I can only imagine the intricacy and braggadocio NF could bring to the crunk-esque synth rattling hi-hat and thunderous bass. I would just love to see NF over some electro-pop rap beats, and if Steve is behind the wheel, I think we could be in for something truly special.
And for number 2, this might be a little bit controversial. I know some NF fans probably don't want him to collaborate with this particular artist, but for me personally, I feel like it makes perfect sense. And the second artist I'm talking about is Billie Eilish. And of course, mostly people know who Billie Eilish is. She is a pop alternative artist. She's huge in the mainstream area. She's been selling a lot of records. Of course, she had her skyrocketing single called Bad Guy. I feel like now her image is kind of changed up a little bit. It's kind of more brighter and happier. When she first came out, it was a lot more darker. But also the reason why I think NF and Billie could work perfectly is because the similar styles of music that they make. They both make dark music, and I feel like with NF and Billie, like they could create some beautiful music out of it with NF's rapping and Billie Eilish's soft singing voice. I just feel like both of them could definitely add something to the table, and I don't know if they particularly know each other personally. I don't think so. I mean, I'm pretty sure they might have heard. I mean, it's probably a chance that they probably might not have heard of each other. I'm pretty sure NF's heard of Billie because she's always on the radio, but I don't know if Billie knows NF. But I could definitely see them working in the future because both of their styles complement each other, and I just really do feel like they can create some very timeless music together, in my opinion. And I know there's gonna be some people out there that's against NF working with Billy because Billy's, I mean, it's not confirmed, but it's kind of, this is all like speculation, but people think that Billy is an industry plant, and people don't, and NF fans don't really want him to associate himself with her. But me personally, I feel like NF and Billie Eilish will work perfectly well. And yeah, I feel like they could really make great music together at the end of the day.
Number 2, I've got to give it to Lecrae, and yeah, this is the big one that everyone always seems to want. They're both clean rappers, both have technical ability, both seem to rap a lot about struggling and being on the come up and flexing how they are now on the top. And if I'm being honest, I would much rather want to see this collab more so for the ability, flair, and also lyrical themes of the respective rappers, rather than if it's a banger. Because both of these MCs have their own unique style that I feel that when conjoined could probably hinder at least one of them in the long run. Where Lecrae seems to choose a lot more traditional and organic instrumentation, NF uses a lot more orchestral and synthesized style. Maybe they could find a way to meld something in that regard, and frankly, I hope so. But I mean, I don't think there's all that much better than imagining confident, buoyant Lecrae like on Come and Get Me or on Broke, trading back and forth with the arrogant and sharp NF like on Real. That's lightning in a bottle if that ever happens. But I think what could really connect is how open and raw both of these MCs are. Of course, we know NF and how well he can dive into the depths of isolation and mental warfare, but vulnerable Lecrae is just as potent. Hearing him rap about the darkness he's witnessed in his real life on 828, or dealing with substance abuse and knowing he's sinned on Only Human, I think there could be a lot of emotionally resonant bars all across this collab. And hey, maybe we're in for it soon, since Lecrae mentioned on an Instagram Live in 2020 that he wants to get this collab happening. And I really hope that does happen because, like I said, I think there's a lot of potential to hear these two on the mic together.
My number 1 pick, and this is another controversial one where this collaboration makes perfect sense, but a lot of people think that he dissed NF. It's kind of split in the middle, but the artist, you already know where I'm going with this. The artist I'm going to mention is my number 1 pick, and his name is Eminem. Now, you already know that when it comes to NF, he gets most of his like inspiration from Eminem, and NF said himself that he grew up listening to Eminem, that he was a big fan of Eminem. And I feel like both of them, of course, both of them has similar styles. I mean, one cusses and the other one does it, and it makes perfect sense because, I mean, of course, they're both white rappers, and feel like it would be good for both of them to collaborate. But I don't know. I feel like it could happen, but of course, Eminem dissed NF in his Kamikaze album, saying NFing recovery clone of me. And there were also speculations that NF retaliated on the song called No Returns. And he also mentioned the bar, take the T and A out of team and you're left with E and M. And also, he also referenced like shooting the plane out your sky. And that was the time when Eminem was promoting his Kamikaze album. And yeah, man, I feel like if they were to come together, I mean, I don't know if there's like behind the scenes tensions with both of them, but if they do collaborate one day, I really want to see a bar for bar match. I want to see something similar to when NF collaborated with Tech 9, just going bar for bar with each other. I mean, of course, we all know Eminem's going to take over the song, but I just really want NF to like just go ham. Just go ham on the song and just be like, yo, there's a chance you might overshadow me on my own song, but I'm gonna give it my all. I feel like when they do collaborate, or I'm pretty sure if they do collaborate, it's gonna be like competition, like very aggressive competition with both of them going out bar for bar with their most wittiest lines, punchlines, and metaphors, different styles and rhythms and patterns, and I feel like both of them will definitely complement each other very well.
And finally, my number 1 spots. I've got to give it to 21 Pilots. And I think this could be one of the biggest sleeper hits, point blank, period. I got into these artists in about exactly the same way when they both broke out in the mainstream with one massive hit, both being rather vulnerable and poignant songs. And I had a revelation that maybe a collaboration between these two could be really interesting. And I mean, hearing NF and Tyler both rap over a more powerful, maybe a soaring rock-tinged rap instrumental could be pretty good. But it wasn't until I heard Shredge for the first time that, god damn it, these two need to work together. There are so many options on that album alone that could make a compelling collab between these two artists in numerous styles that they've both dabbled in. If you want something with a bit more of an anthemic punch, you got Jumpsuit's gritty bass and funky drums, plus the subdued verses. You want a more traditional rap song where both artists can trade bars fluently, you've got Levitate's immaculate percussion courtesy of Josh. You want a bit more melody and catchiness? You got Chlorine's twinkling foundation and gripping bass, or even Neon Gravestones in the more calm side of things. And if you want an outright no-holds-barred banger, you got Pet Cheetah's fiery energy. And then you turn things around. Tyler could easily share some romantic heartbreak on songs like Time, and I swear Paid My Dues was made for this collab. The verses being so foreboding and intense, it could work so well. So yes, 21 Pilots and NF, I can't stress enough how incredible I think this collab could be. And even Nate clearly knows them, having mentioned them in the song No. So I hope that that could lead to a future connection sometime down the road, but man, these two together could truly be magic.
Again, those are my top 5 artists, and I would like to thank Kman Reviews for doing another collaboration video with me. I had fun with this one, and yeah, if you guys also want to check out Kman Reviews videos in his channel, the link will also be in the description down below. And thank you guys for watching this video, and I really hope to see some discourse in the comments section so we could also talk about other possible NF collaborations with other artists. And again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.